For my third pick and the fifth pick of the Sunday six pack, I am going with the Vegas Raiders at BetMGM. Right now, the Raiders 3-point underdogs. And by the way, the other team that I mentioned, fading the 3-0 against the spread teams in week 4, that would be fading Seattle, and that would also be fading Green Bay. We'll talk about that Monday night game on our Sunday podcast, but I took the Falcons plus 7.5. It's an awful line. I expected to go to 6.5. But there's also a bunch of 3-0 teams that I'm looking to fade. You have Tennessee. There's just so much uncertainty when that game's going to be played. But they have so many injuries on defense. They can't get pressure. And now their offensive line is hurt going up against that Pittsburgh defensive front. Really bad situation for Tennessee. I know Pittsburgh's 3-0 as well. Then you have the Bears, who are just a complete fraud 3-0. 3-0 against 3 winless teams, all in miraculous fashion, all by 4 points. The Titans are 3-0 by wins by 6 points. They get outgained and outplayed every game, and they win somehow. So, I do want to kind of might find a way to fade the Bears, but the line looks about right to me is the problem. Maybe I'll look for a live spot on the Colts or maybe I'll moneyline them with the Rams. But the team I do want to fade here is the Bills. -3. They're 3-0 at Vegas. Look, Josh Allen has looked great. I love the play calling of the Bills. They're being much more aggressive. But they beat the Jets. They beat the Dolphins early in the year and in a really close game. And then, they beat the Rams in a game that they probably should have lost after being up 28-3. And I had them -2.5, and they got a really questionable PI call late on 4th and 10. So their defense, we know that they can defend the pass, but the defense against the run, it's still really, really bad. 26th in the NFL in rush defense, DVOA, and they're 24th in adjusted line yards, 26th in second-level rank. These are the things that we saw last year. And now they're going to go up against, Jacobs and one of the better offensive lines in the NFL, even with some of the injuries. So I think the Raiders will be able to protect Carr. They'll be able to move the ball on the ground. And they're going to be number one, the most important thing is I make this line close to, closer to a pick. I think I have the Bills -0.8 here. I just think that they're being completely overvalued after, a good 3-0 start, but 2 of the games, who cares? And last week they really should have lost. And blowing that 28-3 lead is pretty concerning to me. You might get some bad Josh Allen plays, which we can always get here. But give me the Raiders catching 3 as a home dog here. I think their offensive line really controls this game. They control the clock and move the ball. Sure, Allen will make some plays against this really bad Vegas defense that, really still struggles in the secondary. But I'm counting on him making a few mistakes too. I think the Raiders win this game.
Ooh, I'm not there. I actually took the Bills -2.5 because I figured that would get to 3. Listen, I actually think it's going to be time to fade the Bills at some point pretty soon. I just don't know if it's this week because the Raiders have their own issues. Like Ruggs looks like he might not be back. Brian Edwards, their other receiver, he's also looks like they're not playing. And remember, Buffalo and Buffalo, they're banged up too. I think, is Micah Hyde going to play this week? He's out, right? Or is he?
Yeah. Well, yeah. They haven't confirmed, but he might not play.
Right. So that would be a blow because we saw what happens when you can shut down Waller, and Buffalo has tended to be excellent against tight ends. But Sean McDermott, Matthew Friedman actually pointed this out in his trends piece that usually these spots you feel like you should fade a team, but Sean McDermott actually 13-7 against the spread going across the country in these spots. I have the Bills as a 3.5 point favorite. This Raiders team on defense just doesn't have enough for me with, they have the offensive line, but it's still Derek Carr for me. And it's still a banged up receiving core that can kind of let you focus in too much on their best guys. And we've even seen that with Jacobs in the run game. They're actually not ranking. They're in the bottom, I believe they're 27th in success rate on early downs with the run game, which is really surprising for this Raiders team that you think is going to be, superb in that facet. So just kind of more red flags to me with the Raiders. But I also just, I was on the other side of the number at 2.5. if now I wouldn't take it. Weigh the 3 or 3.5. So it was more of a value play, but we'll see if that. We'll see.
Yeah,
how
no,
that
the
one turns
injuries
out.
are a great point. It's something I'm monitoring for sure. With the receivers, the secondary, the offensive line. If they don't have Edwards and Ruggs, I definitely don't love it as much as I did before.